I want them to give us Madison's mom. If I'm going to care about the story, well, introduce us to Madison's mother. I just want new blood on this show, so we can maybe start getting some of this old blood off the show. The Derricks, the Tomas, the Grandpa Gangster, Vanessa. We'd love to see a lot of these characters go to the wayside. Honestly, everyone, all I have to say about today's episode is, holy crap, why are Friday episodes so damn boring on Beyond the Gates? This is like the 4th, 5th, 6th week in a row, maybe I have to sit here on a Friday and say the Friday episode was a total snooze fest. Talking about today's Halloween episode, October 31st, 2025. Don't know why the show only decided to do one Halloween episode. Could have had a more fun episode today if it was also Halloween themed, I think. Instead, we got the Boar Fest that we got. And I just don't get it. Like, soap operas are supposed to, in my opinion, have something good happening on a Friday and a Monday for sure. They should not be used for filler episodes, especially not a Friday. And I feel like this show has constantly used their Fridays as filler episodes. Today was totally filler, except for the last couple of scenes with Hayley and Joey, I suppose. I guess the main story today was Ted on his apology tour. We saw yesterday that he wants to be friends with Leslie now. I talked about how I don't know how I feel about the show seeming to want to make Ted and Leslie closer now after months and months of Ted supposedly wanting to win Nicole back, and months of Ted should have been mad at like Leslie for the past several months about her being the cause of this. I mean, he did cheat. That is true. And that was part of his apology with Nicole today, to apologize for fighting with Carlton in the hospital and embarrassing her, but also to totally apologize for the part he has played in the ruination of their marriage. I mean, he has apologized in the past, but like, I guess today was a more sincere, complete apology. Today also, Ted told Eva that he wants her to be more a part of the family, and most importantly wants Eva to start calling him dad. And of course Eva was touched by that, and I gotta say I wasn't that touched. As someone who was an OG Eva stan on the show, the writing for her lately has made me care less about her family relations with Ted and her mom, quite frankly. I'm still invested in her finding a better love life, but not quite as invested in her family drama anymore. The show has stretched it out a little too long and not very well with the writing. But I guess good for Eva that now she finally has a dad, something she has always wanted, but the scenes fell flat, unfortunately. And I feel like Ted's apology tour in general today fell pretty flat. Still don't love the direction of Ted and Leslie seemingly closer. Leslie had a chat with her friend, her only friend, Jan, today. Ashley's mom, the only friend that she has, thanks to Eva getting Jan to give Leslie a second chance. The show has definitely, and I've been talking about this for like months now, I feel like, but certainly more so over the past several weeks, trying to give the character of Leslie more layers. She definitely started the show as a good villain, in my opinion, but then quickly kind of became more of a cartoon villain. But now they are trying to add some vulnerabilities to her, give her layers. Today she's telling Jen that the reason she came back to the town in the first place is so that Eva and her father can meet each other and develop a relationship. And that is now what's happening. So Leslie getting her way there. I don't mind the Leslie and Jen friendship. I also don't mind them trying to add layers to Leslie, but I still feel, like I said yesterday, that they don't know where to take the character of Leslie. They had themselves a good villain. They wrote her too much of a cartoon. Like, what happened to her trying on different wigs and wanting to even become more and more like Nicole? At one point, it seemed like not necessarily that she had split personalities, but that she was cuckoo crazy. we haven't really seen that side of Leslie lately, which maybe is a good thing if they want her to be less of a cartoon, but like it is more evidence that they don't know what to do with Leslie. They started her going off the deep end into a crazy character. They've tried to reel it back. They've given her money, but like, where is the character going? What is her motivation going forward? She's becoming friends with Ted now. She just wants to move next to the Duprees and be an annoyance. I mean, she stole candy from Nicole yesterday. She's just becoming a nuisance. But like, what's the bigger story here? And we're heading into November sweeps, and I really don't feel like we have good stories going into November sweeps. So my hope was we would go into November sweeps and it would become a more entertaining, exciting show. I don't see that happening in this November sweeps. I hope that at the very least then that November sweeps is used to end a lot of these bad stories. It seems like Derek and Ashley, that story is going to move, but I don't really care about that story. I don't know what other story is going to move. I would love a story to move that moves Tomas out of town, and maybe Kat could go a different way. But if that story is going to be another triangle with Kat, Izaiah, and Eva, not really excited about that either. So yeah. They also seem to be planning another big event. This time it's for some charity for the Duprees. We might have ourselves another Articulate concert, but that's not really going to move the needle and make people want to watch the show. And then Anita wants to make this event for Barbara, but I'm glad at least Laura brought up the point that it's just going to cause Leslie to want to make a big scene. At least a character on the show was smart enough to think about having this event dedicated to Barbara is going to make Leslie cause a scene. I'm not excited for that, though, because like I said, the direction for Leslie, they don't have a good motivation for her right now. What is the motivation other than just being a nuisance? I would love to know. The writing for these characters got to develop into something better. We might as well talk about Hayley and Bill. It was probably the only decent part of the day, really. Not that their scenes were exactly exciting, but Hayley was looking at her escape to St. Bart's, a real estate there. She's still trying to kill Bill and get his money. Bill caught her looking at the computer. She tried to play it off that she was just startled that he snuck up on her, but then talked about how she wanted to go on vacation to St. Bart's, but it's probably too late because everything's booked. And then that led to Bill buying her a vacation home or a home to invest in, which excited her because it's going to be in her name. Hayley's all about getting things in her name right now to get all of Bill's money. I don't know if today's story was to make Hayley have doubts that she wants to kill Bill because she's already getting her way with Bill and his money. I don't know what that was about. But then it led to Hayley and Joey running into each other. Joey confronting her about knowing that she and Randy have been sneaking around the casino because saw her on tape in the parking lot. She tried to play it off as that she doesn't know who Randy is. She knows a Sammy who helped her during her miscarriage, and blaming Sammy for spreading rumors about her when Joey told her that Randy said they were having an affair, that she was stepping out on her marriage. I don't really know why Joey even needed to confront Hayley about this. I don't even like that Joey's involved in the story, to be honest, because I've had it up to here with Grandpa Gangster. How people feel about Leslie is how I feel about Joey as a villain. I've had it with Joey, but he's not going away anytime soon. But now he's also involved in this story, and it's not great. Because I like the Hayley, Bill, Andre, Danny storyline. Joey might just make it annoying. And I don't think Hayley played this off well. Don't really know what the point of it was. Don't want Joey to be the one to really find out what Randy and Hayley are up to. Because I just want the character of Randy to have better writing too. But as someone said in the comments yesterday, it's not just Ted and Leslie that need better writing and better direction. It's a lot of these damn characters. So I guess Hayley was the highlight today, but really not really. Kat and Tomas had some scenes. We're still talking about Tomas's injured penis. Chelsea was giving a joke at Tomas today. asking how it's hanging. Apparently the whole town even knows about Tomas's injured penis. Somehow Eva found out. I'm not exactly sure how Eva found out, because Eva and Tomas, of course, had to run into each other. And Tomas knows about Izaiah. Tomas brought up the fact that Izaiah is related to Jacob, another son of the chief of police who was investigating Leslie. So now Eva knows exactly who Izaiah is. I guess that was some story progression, at least in today's otherwise filler episode. And now Madison and Chelsea are having problems because of Madison's mom being a spiritualist. I think we talked about this last week, about this story with Madison's mom, and Chelsea wanting to kind of be in the business of it. And I get Chelsea's good intentions, wanting to help Madison and her mother's relationship, but Madison's telling her not to right now. And I guess Chelsea contacted Madison's mom without Madison wanting her to. And Madison's mom wants to run Chelsea's birth chart. You know, I like a character that's into astrology. So if, you know, they give us Madison's mom, I want them to give us Madison's mom. If I'm going to care about the story, well, introduce us to Madison's mother. And I hope she's an entertaining character with a good actress. And I just want new blood on this show, so we can maybe start getting some of this old blood off the show. The Derricks, the Tomas, the Grandpa Gangster, Vanessa. We'd love to see a lot of these characters go to the wayside so that we could have some new blood and maybe a better quality show with some better, more entertaining storylines. That's just what I want at the end of the day. We're probably not going to get that in November sweeps like I was hoping. If the stories are still bad and boring during November sweeps, I'm going to have to rip the writing apart. We're going into a sweeps month. No excuses. It needs to be good. The show needs to... We're trying to get... Like, the people that get annoyed in the comments sometimes when I talk bad about the show, it's like, we're trying to get the show to have more than 2 years. The ratings have been better the past couple months compared to the summer, but they did falter again this past week. So... let's get some better consistency with the writing. And something that's going to piss me off even more, looking at next week's preview, I don't know what this Vernon story is. He seems to be sneaking away to see some woman. I'm assuming it's not that he's having an affair or that he had an affair. Because if it is, I'm going to roast head writer Michelle Valjean. It's going to happen. She could get on Twitter and talk her shit, well, then we can talk her shit about her. You know, she gets defensive when people criticize the writing sometimes. Well, that will be terrible writing if every damn man in the Dupree family is a cheater. Because I already have to get on this show for the way they write men in general. So that would be another... That would just be bad writing. And I will have to rip her apart if that is what they're doing with Vernon. Overall, next week, I was hoping it's going to be a good week, but I think it's going to get on my nerves. I see that the Derek and Ashley story is moving. She's going to see that he's standing up, so he's going to be caught in the act. At least they're not going to the wedding for that. But I don't like that story, so I don't really care. It seems as though Samantha's going to be really upset by something Martin does. I could look forward to that, at least. I have enjoyed the teens this week. They're getting one of the better stories right now when you compare them to everything else on the show. I don't know what the Vernon thing is about, but if it has anything to do with an affair or cheating, gonna be pissed. And it seems like Joey's gonna be cracking some joke about how he killed Doug, and then Vanessa's gonna sit there and look dumb, so that's gonna be annoying. Other than that, though, I don't know. I'm hoping for a good November sweeps, but my expectations are quite low going into November sweeps.